So here I am in my walk-in robe. One of my lovely followers the other day, when she saw my video on art, decided she thought she'd like to have a look inside my wardrobe. So here I am sharing my wardrobe. This wardrobe is completely original. I have made no changes to it as yet. I do have a few ideas about what I'd like to do just to make it work a little bit better for me and aesthetically have a few nicer touches that were a bit more sort of modern and in keeping with how I've designed the house and style right now. So a couple of things to think about when you're designing a wardrobe. It's very much like your kitchens and bathrooms and laundries. You need to think about your storage and what it is that you need to store. So thinking about different heights, thinking about different widths, long hanging, short hanging, shoes, belts, all of those things, and how are you going to store them in your wardrobe. So I'm very lucky here in that I have one complete side to myself, plus I have also stolen the end down there. So my husband really just has the middle, and he has the short hanging, some shelves, and we actually have 8 drawers each, so we're really lucky. On this side, I've got 2 short hangings, another short hanging, and a long hanging. Myself, I've got 8 drawers, and then I have a whole bank of shelves. Now, I'm not a Marie Kondo when I come to storing my garments, but I do like to follow a couple of rules. So all of my coat hangers are the same color. So I use all the same color. Black for me is really nice. My daughter's actually used lovely wooden coat hangers in her wardrobe, and it just looks a whole lot nicer when you use the same color coat hangers. I also like to color code my clothes, much like I think about color and design, and so I'll show you a little bit of a snippet of that as well. So I've color coded from lights to darks, and I've kept my colors in groupings, which looks really nice. I've also done things like all of my jackets are in one area, all my trousers are in one area, and all of my top garments are here, and then all of my folded garments come on the open shelves. So again, like I say, I don't fold them like Marie Kondo, but I stack things so I can easily see the colors, my light colors, and then my bright colors. It's really important to think about the widths of your shelves. Obviously, I couldn't change these shelves that were existing, but they work really well for me. So I have handbags up top, knitwear and sports gear, and all of the things that I haven't put into drawers. It's also really good to either have a very top shelf or a bottom shelf where you can store extra pieces, maybe suitcases, hats. I've got hats, boxes that I store things in, beach bags, and those sorts of things. And we're very fortunate. We have a lot of high shelving also on the other side, which you can't see, where we can store our suitcases, our winter duvet, spare pillows, toiletry bags, and all of those things that you use for traveling or going out of town. We've also luckily got a shelf each, which we can put our jewelry at the end of the day. I put sunglasses and all those sorts of things. And of course, in my drawers, I like to store things, not quite in a Marie Kondo way, but again, in a color-coded way. So it's always important to allow for drawers in your wardrobe, because you can store your smalls, like underwear and socks, and keep them tidy, because they're a little bit harder to store those on a shelf. However, you could use baskets if you were a little bit limited in the amount of drawers that you could have. I'm very, very lucky to have 8 drawers to myself, and my husband has another 8 to himself. So we're pretty well sorted in terms of the great storage in this room. You can also see a bit of the carpet in here. So it's really nice to have the carpet. Like I said, the mirror at the end reflects, which is great. So I can actually stand, you can see the back of me there. I can actually stand here and I get a full view of myself. And I think that's really important in a wardrobe. And when I'm planning wardrobes for clients, we always make sure that we allow for a full length mirror if we possibly can. So that might be on the door, or it might be at one end or the other of the wardrobe. That's really important as well. We have got a door into this wardrobe, but if you're wanting to save space, it's really important to use something like a cavity slider. And also remember that you can add art to something like a walk-in wardrobe. I was sharing my art the other day, and what I've done is I've hung one of my pieces of art down across my mirror, which is really gorgeous. And I also have another lovely piece of art that I'm pointing at, which is at the other end of my wardrobe. And you'll be able to check out in my story highlights on Instagram under my home, many of the snapshots that I pop in there of various spaces. And I'll do a couple of shots of the wardrobe so you can actually get a better look of how I've used the various spaces in here. So always be thinking about firstly what you want to store, how you want to store it. So sometimes you might want to, like I've got a freestanding laundry basket here, but if you've got the capacity to have a big drawer that you pull out and put your dirty laundry in there, maybe you've got access to do a laundry chute right down to your laundry. So thinking about all the things that you might store. If you don't want to store suitcases in your garage, then you would store them in your wardrobe. Maybe like us, you store extra bedding in here as well. So that's been really helpful to have the additional shelving to store some of those things, because we don't need to go downstairs. We don't have a laundry cupboard upstairs. It means that it's nice and easy to grab our sheets and grab our extra bedding from our actual walk-in robe.